Hey guys, Shadney back with another process video, and today we're going to have a sketch because it's Monday, so we get a free sketch today. And the link for the sketch will be down below in the description box, so you can go download the PDF and print it at a 4x6. And yeah, so sorry, I got distracted. I am in the post office parking lot today doing my voiceover. I just dropped Indy off at school and dropped some packages, so I'm just doing it here real quick before I go get to work on some more stuff. So if you hear weird noises, that's what that is. The stuff that I'm splattering on the background right now is Tim Holtz Distress. No, that's not what I meant. Tim Holtz Resist spray. Basically you can do whatever you want with it. Use it like regular mist. But then once it dries, it's clear and like a little bit shiny, so that whenever you go back and do mixed media over the top of it, those areas will resist whatever your medium is. So in this case, I'm going to do some ink blending, like very, very basic, not good ink blending. It's just so you know, fair warning. And I'm just over here cleaning up my mess real quick. But I went ahead and did splatters across that just so that I could set that aside to dry while I work on these photo layers. And these are all 6x6 Felicity Jane papers. They were from, I think it was a birthday collection, but I don't know which collection it was. I am having a hard time with this page just because I'm trying to get a good amount of those colors on it showing around the edge, and I feel like almost anywhere I put it, you get like one color and a lot of white space. So I'm trying to mess around to find a good space where you get a good amount of the colors. So I end up just settling for this right here, but it's still not showing a whole lot of the colors. So another thing I'm doing is whenever I'm switching between the papers, like I have a couple very white based papers and then a couple that are a little bit more solid. So the ones that are white based, I'm trying to not put right next to each other, if that makes sense. I'm going kind of every other one so that the white, it's not white on white on white, if that makes sense. So sorry, I keep saying if that makes sense. It's early, sorry. I am trying to straighten these pages up just a little bit because it cut a little wonky. But then after that, I am going to go ahead and ink the edges of all these pages in just my regular gray ink, just very lightly, so it's not a distressed look, just enough to give some distinction between the layers. And then I'm going to go ahead and start adhering these together. So some of them I will adhere flat together, and some of them I will, like in one of those layers, will add some foam, some fun foam. So this one, I'm just adding flat onto that color, and then I'm trying to decide like how the layers are going to go. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere the first two layers to the photo, and then I think that's where I pull the fun foam in. Yep. And then I will, after that, I will adhere it to the next two layers, and those two layers will be layered flat together as well. I was going to say something, but I don't know what it was. I'm sorry. I'm all over the place, guys. I mean, I'm sure you're used to that for me, but, just a little bit everywhere. Oh, I was going to tell you this new tape runner. I don't know if I've talked about it yet. So I got this new tape runner. It's a Koyoko. It's a Japanese brand. It's the tape runner Shamel uses, but, Sarah Scraps and Christina Sorge both use it, and I've been watching videos from them lately, and honestly, I was just getting really fed up with the giant ATG gun. It's not bad, it just frustrates me because it's so huge, and it's just so in the way, I feel like. So, I figured I'd give this one a try before I just relinquish myself to use the giant ATG gun. So far I like it. It doesn't adhere really, really hard right away. But once it's like settled on the paper for a little bit, it does adhere really well. Which is kind of nice because then you have a little bit of time to move things around if you need to. So I am not paying attention to what the video is doing. I pulled out a sheet of 8.5 by 11 inch vellum, just plain white or clear, however you want to say it, vellum, and cut it into strips. I think they're about 1.5 inches wide, I think is what I did, but I wasn't paying very much attention when that happened. So, and then I pulled out my fringe scissors and cut fringe into all of them. I ended up with 5 strips across, and with the vellum, you can easily layer 2 sheets together to cut your fringe. You just have to be careful to hold it straight so that it doesn't get off like wonky. And of course left about 1/2 inch or a little bit more across the top where I didn't cut so that I had place to adhere it down. The fringe scissors aren't a necessity, but they do make your life a little bit easier if you like doing fringe a lot. And the next thing I'm doing is pulling out some thickers. So I wanted to use some of these pink Paisley 5th and Monaco black and white scissors. No, stickers. Sorry, stuck on the scissors. And in my head, I was going to say currently hating Mondays, but then there was the word always was on here as well in white. So I thought that was one that would be a little bit more difficult to use like long term, a little bit more specific. So I went ahead and went for the always. These thickers that I'm using right now are from, I think, a Heidi Swap collection, but I don't know which one. And then these little bubble stickers are Hobby Lobby's alphabet stickers. They look like they're little metal pieces with the word in them, but they're really just like bubble dots, and they're kind of hard, but they're full of air, and they just the outside edge is painted silver, so they look like metal, but they're not. They're just completely all plastic. They're like kind of the same texture as like a googly eye, like that kind of bubble, but obviously no eyeball inside it. So once I have the title all ready to go, I check the paper, and the resist spray is completely dry. Sorry, I'm having a hard time with those words. So I'm just trying to like kind of lay everything out to make sure what I want. And then I pull out this pink Distress Oxide spray. And then I'm just loosely blending. You can tell it's not a very good technique. It's not smooth. It just is what it is. I just wanted a good amount of color without having to wait for mist to dry, or without having to add gesso or anything like that. So this was just an easy way to get a lot of color on the background without having to wait, because I'm obviously very impatient. And I already waited for the resist to dry, so I didn't want to wait anymore. And I was putting away the ink, and then I decided I wanted to stamp on the background. And so I started digging through my stamps, and then I found this one, and I've never used it. I bought it to do this very technique with, but I've never used it, and I was really excited to try it. So I literally I used the same exact pink Distress Oxide ink that I used for the background blending. And then I used this stamp. I left it on the plastic, didn't put it on a block or anything, and just inked some of it and then stamped it on. And it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to press the whole thing down. It just gave it a little bit of texture across there. It was a really, really fun technique to do. It's something I had seen Adele from Inky Quill do before, that she uses her background stamps without a block, and it gives it a more organic kind of feeling background. So I wanted to give that a try, but I really, really love how the tiny text kind of turned out on this, so that will definitely be happening more in the future. Then I pulled out the Nuvo Mica Mist, and this is the pink color. I don't know what it's called. It might be fuchsia something. I don't remember. So, and I just splattered across the background, and of course was impatient and didn't want to wait. So I just went ahead and kind of wiped up the rest with my paper towels. And in my head, with this fringe, with the vellum, I wanted to stitch each layer down, because then you wouldn't see the adhesive and it would give a little bit more detail and texture and all that. But I still have not found the foot pedal for my sewing machine. I'm thinking it might still be at my aunt's, but I'm not sure. I gotta look whenever I go today. So, and then I realized this one's crooked, so I'm trying to straighten that back up. But yeah, so I just went ahead and did it with my regular adhesive, and honestly, you can see the adhesive, but it's not a big deal to me. If you don't like that, definitely don't do that. I thought about even like stapling the edges, but my feeling was that the vellum was too thin and that it would rip by putting layers over top of it if I just stapled the edges. So I went ahead and just did the adhesive, and it's totally fine. I even thought about doing like a border strip or some trim across the top to hide the adhesive, but I don't end up doing that. Oh, sorry. So the next thing I've done is I just pulled out some of my wood veneers, and these are from the Christmas morning set, but obviously this is not Christmas morning, or maybe it's not obvious. This is not a Christmas morning layout. But I thought that was a perfect little title piece, not title, but like a little accent piece. It says I'm only a morning person on Christmas, and because this is a school day and it's a Monday, and she's definitely not a morning person on regular days. So I thought that was kind of funny and would fit perfectly for this photo because she is not a morning person. And then I know she's 4. She does not drink coffee. She gets like Starbucks coffee, but it has no caffeine in it. Every once in a while she'll get real coffee, but it's like decaf, and yeah. Anyway, sorry. Long story short, she doesn't get coffee, but coffee is associated with mornings and waking up and not being able to wake up. So I thought that was appropriate for the layout. And I fiddled with the idea earlier about doing the title as something about like, am I too young for coffee, or is 4 too young for coffee, or something like that, just to tie in the coffee pot. But then I like this one, and I wanted to pull in those Fifth and Monaco stickers because I've not used any of them yet. I love them, but I've just been hoarding them and not using them, so we're trying to get some of those used. Of course, because the Monday word is using thickers, chipboard thickers, they will not stick. So we are going ahead and using my Nuvo Deluxe liquid adhesive, and adhering those down really well. I need to order a couple more bottles of those as well. The last time I ordered them from Christina Sorge at Redefined Creative. They're about the same price everywhere you go, but she's a small shop and I like supporting small business if I can. So anything like that, if I can remember, I will try to link that adhesive down below as well. Then what I'm doing here is I'm adhering all these pieces. The coffee pot I adhered flat with the Nuvo glue, but the little cup I popped up on a Stampin' Dimensional foam dot just to give it a little bit more texture up there, like dimension. And then the robe and slippers, I used the Stampin' Dimensionals to adhere those down as well. Just, I don't know, I like the texture of it, so. And then I pulled out a couple of these epoxy flares, or epoxy sprinkles, sorry. They're just the 1/2-inch epoxy sprinkles from my shop, and I'm using Stampin' Dimensionals to adhere those down as well because they are 1/2 inch. They are the perfect size to back these little epoxy pieces. And then the little wood button I layered over there on the bottom right, it just says 2020. Then I pulled out these puffy stickers, are from Chamel's Head in the Clouds. I got those at Tuesday Morning a while back, but whenever I found them again, I bought another package because they're amazing and they work for everything. Like, the colors are perfect and they're just the perfect puffy sticker, and they're puffy stickers that actually stick. I've had a hard time lately with puffy stickers not sticking. So these tiny word strips are from a Jen Hadfield collection, and I didn't realize when I bought them that they are card sentiments basically. But for this layout, I used all the sentiments that are like, oh, I'm so sorry, thinking of you, like the ones that are, I don't know how to, sympathy, that's what I'm trying to say, like the sympathy sentiments. So I thought that was kind of funny to add in here because, we all feel that on Mondays or every day, waking up and trying to do everything. I pulled out these Felicity Jane little borders, and I was thinking about adding them across the top there, but I would have to cut it off, and I don't really know how it looks inside, like how the puffy sticker would look if it's cut. So I just went ahead and forewent it. It doesn't really bother me that the adhesive's showing, but if it does bother you, of course, you can do something like that and hide that. Sorry. These are just epoxy pieces from Chamel's Head in the Clouds. They are the little diamond star shape. And then I pulled out the Stampin' Up! They're like glitter enamel dots, and I just to pull some more of that aqua blue in. And then after that, this is pretty much the end of the layout. Oh, there's the stars. Oh, and then the pink hearts are from Michael's. They're a big pack that you can get at Michael's for, I think they're $3.99. You get them on sale. They're $1.99, and they last forever. So definitely recommend those. And then I pull out the Nuvo drops, of course. And this one I used the Stone Drops. It's Berry Burst is the color, I think. But they're stone drops, and I just thought the texture would add just a little bit more to the layout. I like having a lot of different textures and dimension. Something to keep in mind is that whenever you put anything liquid over vellum, like liquid glue, Nuvo drops, paint, anything like that, it does wrinkle up your vellum. So I tried to be a little bit careful about where I placed my Nuvo drops so that they mostly weren't on vellum. I do have 2 spots that they are, but one spot it's stuck down under the rest of some other stickers so that it will hold it down while it dries. The other spot, it does dry, like sticking up a little bit, but it's not bad and it doesn't bother me. You will see it in the photos. So for this layout, I was going to start writing on the background, but my thought was that between the Distress Oxide, the Mica Mist, and then the Resist, especially, I didn't want to write directly on the background. So I did pull out my old handy trick that I've been too lazy to use lately and wrote my journaling on some little white strips of paper. These are just white cardstock. It's a white cardstock sheet cut into 1/4 inch strips. And then I write in my journaling just as normal, and then I'll cut it down and adhere it flat on the page. So I'm going to go ahead and fast forward it so you don't have to watch all of this. So again, I just adhered it down with my Nuvo glue, got those all stuck together, and then afterwards, the last thing I do is add a date stamp, and it's the roller date is from Felicity Jane, I believe. And so that's pretty much it. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to download the sketch, please check the description box and there will be a link so that it takes you to a Dropbox file so you can download it or just print directly from there, however you want to do it. Just make sure that you size your paper to 4x6 so that it prints at the right size. If you print it On regular paper, it will print it huge, so just FYI. Thank you for watching. Please hit like and subscribe if you want to see more videos, and come back later this week for more. Thanks. Have a wonderful day and happy scrapping. Bye.